So welcome back to another episode of Box Mining here, where we talk about cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, Ethereum, the whole DeFi thing, altcoins, everything. And we're gonna do a major news update today. Today's a really great day, by the way. Even though it's on here, even though in Hong Kong it's Friday 13th, I don't know, man. But at the same time, Bitcoin broke $16,000. Oh my God, that is crazy. Bitcoin has only been above this level for less than 2 weeks. It's like incountable days on the number on the fingers on my hand. Well, maybe a little bit more, but Bitcoin is in a very special zone right now, and I'm extremely happy because, obviously, and I think we should all give ourselves pat in the backs here, on the backs here. To be honest, we have a lot of followers on this channel that's been watching this channel and also been in Bitcoin for such a long time. We've been through when Bitcoin this year was $4,500. It just crashed. Remember that? And remember our entry points? I mean, now it's 16,000. Come on, guys, come on. So really happy days. Obviously, it's been a long journey, but at the same time, it's been an extremely rewarding journey for us. And now the big question is what's going to be next? And I'm extremely optimistic still with what's happening. For me, past few weeks, I've been cautiously optimistic. All right, that's a good word. But I think that now we're crossing that threshold into full-on optimism. I'm still a little bit cautious of a few moves, and that's what I'm going to talk about in this episode as well. So there is potential for some short-term turbulence, so to speak. But at the same time, we see Bitcoin moving up, Ethereum making some very big plays as well. And with these two pushing up the markets, that means we are going to experience a very strong cryptocurrency narrative for the rest of this year, at the very least. Very excited, very happy to do the stream for you guys today. So we're gonna do the news update. I've also prepared a lot of updates. If you actually look at my Brave tab, it's actually got plenty of tabs here, a lot of news updates relating to everything as well. And it's very obvious if you look at me, I'm stepping up, right? This is a situation where, for me, I took last few weeks, I have been mostly defensive, right? I've been telling you, even though I'm cautiously optimistic, the caution there still means that I'm not aggressively buying altcoins, etc. But that's actually the switch has been flipped today. Well, not today, midweek. I was telling you guys on Telegram, look, that switch has been flipped. And I'm aggressively looking into new projects. I'm aggressively looking at the whole ecosystem. And that's because of the way crypto almost always plays out, which is major coins move up and then altcoins move up, right? So even though we're having a little bit of a drain on altcoins yesterday night, altcoins fell a little bit, I still feel like this is the best time. And I still feel, I absolutely feel this is the best time to start doing the heavy research and I'm making some entries as well. So I think, anyways, I'm pretty excited. My personal strategies, not financial advice, obviously, but that's pretty much given on all these episodes. But yeah, while lots of news is Llama 666, we're packed with news, and this is what we're gonna do more. I'm spending a lot more time researching. Before, I'm would I rather research or play video games? I'll rather play video games, but now I'm I'd rather do some cryptocurrency research because I don't want to be poor. So anyway, so that's the narrative right now. Let's take a look. So before we start, obviously, guys, let me play the intro for you guys. Let's throw that on. Yeah, I just made it, so I thought I'm gonna shove this in front of our videos to look cool. Anyways, on that as well, we have the newsletter released this week. A lot of effort's been spent on this newsletter. It updates a lot about Ethereum 2.0, which is arriving in December, and I'll cover that as well in today's episode. But make sure you subscribe to the newsletter. It's on boxmining.com/newsletter. I'll put that on the links down below so you guys can subscribe to the newsletter. You get updated. It's free for now. Maybe not very soon. I'm actually spending a lot of money But big thank you to the researchers, both Angela and Cla, for researching this. I'm spending money out of my own pocket, but they've also done all the work for it. So lots of research on that. Big thank you to that team over there. And also, just a reminder as well, check out Box Money Podcast. If you guys like longer form interviews, a lot more content is coming on Box Money Podcast. the last one I did want to highlight, which is privacy on the blockchain, Oasis. This is something you guys definitely need to know about. Like understanding the kind of next step, the next big leap, not just computational, because Ethereum is mostly computational. Someone can write a piece of code and bam, it becomes a bank overnight, right? But now there's also privacy on top of that as well. The ability to just share data between large data sources, like say for example, like okay, I hate to give this example, but maybe COVID tracking, right? That data could be stored in a private location, and then you can also share when you need to. Like you can actually run calculations to see if there's contact points and without revealing where you've been. I mean, this is like kind of like next level stuff. It's like black magic, voodoo magic, right? And that's crazy. But anyways, check out Box Mining Podcast. There's a lot of information inside there and a lot more information coming soon. So, okay, without further ado, let's go straight into markets. Of course, we are in an amazing state right now. Bitcoin shot up above $16,000. So right now we're comfortably sitting at $16,404 right now. And the best part about this is that Asia's awake. You know, I've been saying, and this is absolutely true, Asia is a lot more bearish than America. It's just a fact, right? There's been Asia's been hit with constant bad news for the past month or so. And if you want to see more of that and why that is, if you missed out on a few episodes so that explains that, I've also have Box Mining Clips. There's a channel that I can just box mining clips, and I explained that to you right there, right? So just check out Box Mining Clips, the web why are Asia market so bearish. But right now we're above 16K and Asia is up in full swing, so that is actually extremely optimistic for me. I feel like, yeah, usually prices get suppressed when Asia starts waking up. Like when it hits like 9 a.m., 8 a.m. here, you just see Bitcoin prices dipping. Now today, not so much. So that's actually really good signs. We also have Ethereum sitting above 463. And yet again, if you look at the movements, Ethereum's been making huge moves. It's moved up 11% in the past 7 days, just continuously up. And okay, if you even look at technical analysis on Bitcoin as well, I think this is blindingly obvious. You see this wedge here. Bitcoin just broke above it. I mean, almost every indicator is switching to bullish at this current point. So very positive momentum, and I feel like in the next 3-4 weeks we're going to see huge movements on this still, because mainstream media is also talking about this too. I mean, you just look at this episode. I just played this mini clip from CNBC. I just played this for you guys here. Let's see, let's rewind this. Right.
Bitcoin baller BK, who joins us on the phone. Beeks, good to talk to you.
Yeah, good to be here, especially on a day with Bitcoin above 16,000.
Yeah, what do you think it is? And we've had notable investors come out recently endorsing a Bitcoin, whether it be Bill Miller or Stan Druckenmiller, you name it. The Christine Lagarde remarks are interesting. I would think it was either validation of Bitcoin or it would be competition for Bitcoin.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I mean, certainly having, high-profile investors come out and say that they own it takes a lot of the career risk away from investors, professional investors who want to put it in their portfolio. And that's what we're starting to see. Some of the buyers coming in are institutional investors. In terms of the digital euro or digital yuan or digital dollar, it's actually not competition for Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's core value proposition is that it has a fixed supply. I can't imagine the ECB issuing a digital currency that is going to have a fixed supply. In fact, I would think it would make it a lot easier for them to digitally print more money. So I actually think it's those are more of a risk for fiat currency holders, and it highlights why Bitcoin is a digital gold-like product.
All right, I'm just gonna pause that there. I mean, it's a long video, and I think it's kind of interesting. A few things, I watched this segment, and a few things came into mind. Obviously, talking about digital gold, that is great. I'm sorry if the volume is a little bit loud for me on my end. I just realized the video volume is a little bit low, but that's great. But what he doesn't say, of course, is that Bitcoin is also completely decentralized. And this is actually very controversial, right? Like you can see that Brian Kelly here, he's presenting it in the most accessible form for mainstream media. But you have to realize one other element here, which is that not only is Bitcoin supply fixed, but it doesn't care who you are in this world. It's completely decentralized. It doesn't rely, it like government sanctions can't affect it. Like, just think about that. Like, these are huge elements. It's beyond, right? I hate to say this too. I mean, it's beyond the law, right? Like, that's what makes Bitcoin powerful, because it's money for the people. The problem is we're having major problems with governments at this current point, and he didn't want to point that out, but that's the kind of the truth behind Bitcoin. That's kind of why we're here. Right. And this element is stronger than every single other element out there, because every other asset class is controlled. It's controllable by governments. But the problem is we've been realizing that governments kind of serve their own needs too. Governments are just a bunch of politicians, right? This is the kind of exposure that mainstream media doesn't want to point out. They don't want to point out, our government system's broken, banks, and they've been laundering money for a long ass time, making money and getting fined. Who cares, right? They don't care about getting fined, because at the end of the day, they make more money, right? It's just part of the process. And what makes Bitcoin powerful is that it's beyond all of this. And this is gonna echo in the years to come, because the way you see politics going, like last few weeks, the politics has been just like horrendous, right? It's like a clown fest, right? With the whole US elections. And then right now, if you look at Hong Kong, what's happening here, global politics is a mess. And I don't see that going away anytime soon. And having a form of currency that is beyond government control, how do you even put a price to that, right? Like, this is one of the biggest underlying reasons, not just about supply, not just the digital gold, but a currency of the people. Anyways, I don't need to say more, but that's what is giving Bitcoin so much power right now. So now, I think that the key take home is obviously, one is mainstream media is getting back on the Bitcoin bandwagon. That's great. They're saying good things. It's now kosher to talk about Bitcoin again, now that's going on. And also, we're moving to a point where we're breaking some barriers, right? 16K was a major point of resistance. In fact, during the research for this episode, we have an article that was like, oh, Bitcoin failed to break 16K. It's going to go down. No, it broke 16K. So now we're in a much better state. Okay. I do want to say something though, and I'm a little bit careful of this too. I'm still watching out for Bart Simpson patterns. So you can see, it's a funny name, but you can see Bart Simpson pattern here, right? Very clear. You can see the spiky hair up, some spiky hair, and then boom, goes down. Right. And this is still possible. So whilst I'm very, very, very optimistic about medium term, short term, I am still anticipating the potential for sudden spikes downwards. And that's a possibility. So this is in essence why I'm hodling onto Bitcoin rather than taking on leverage long positions. I am not taking on any leverage positions at this current point, just in case there's a huge spike. It might be that the spike only lasts an hour, right? Like, just like this situation here, we can see that yes, there was one candle, two candles, three candles down. So that's 3 hours. It went down. And then the fourth candle, it tried, right? It tried to go below 14K. All right, it tried here, but then boom, right? The bulls pushed it back up, and then we recovered, right? So it might just be for a short period of time, but this could wipe out positions too. And I do know that quite a lot of people have a lot of leverage exposure to Bitcoin at this current point. I have nothing against it. And I think a lot of my smarter friends, they have sub accounts on FTX, which means that if something bad happens, they don't get wiped out of their account balance. I think a lot of traders are smarter now. They're using sub accounts, they're using various strategies. And when they deploy certain strategies, they're always protected. But I mean, I guess with the general public, not everyone knows how to do this. So yeah, I'll probably cover it in the future, but just understand that a lot of very professional traders have certain strategies that they want to deploy. And for me, I'm just currently like I said, I've already have a lot of exposure to Bitcoin. So I felt holding Bitcoin was the best option rather than taking leverage positions at this current point. So that's my 2 cents on this. Now, I'm actually very optimistic on Ethereum as well. If you guys looked at me and you see what I'm doing, I'm like researching a huge amount into Ethereum 2.0, into what's happening. So what's the story with Ethereum 2.0? In summary, Ethereum 2.0 is going to launch on December the 1st. It's going to be a huge upgrade to ETH, but it's going to launch as a separate network. So right now, if people want to test out the network and migrate, there are staking contracts up that allow for this migration. Yet again, don't get scammed, guys. There, if you want to check it out, the best place for it is launchpad.ethereum.org. That is the best website to get all your information. That's like official website to get your information, right? So right now, as of this point, already 60,000 ETH has already been staked into this contract. This bar actually needs to reach full. Right, so this bar needs to move from right now, which is roughly around 15%, and move to 100% before Ethereum 2.0 can be deployed. So tentatively, the date is set for December the 1st, but the developers also require that this bar move to 100% before 7 days before December the 1st. So we have roughly like a week and a bit to move that bar. I'm still optimistic. A few people are wondering if this is possible and maybe if Ethereum 2.0 will be delayed. My take on this is that the big players, the big whales, just they haven't started this yet. And towards the end few days, right before the deadline for this, you will see that migration happen. That's my 2 cents on this. But why is this exciting? Well, Ethereum 2.0 represents a huge upgrade to Ethereum. It allows a lot of scalability to come in. It also allows a transition from mining. So right now, Ethereum relies on mining, where miners, they use like computers like this. I'll show you guys mining later, but they use computers to secure the network. It's going to transition straight to proof of stake, and it's going to reward people who stake Ethereum more Ethereum. Rich get richer, a little bit like that. But at the same time, the stakers also need to perform functionality on the network too. So it's not a pure, oh, let's just give more money to the rich. So right now, that's going to be a big driver for people to get exactly 32 Ethereum. So by having 32 ETH, you're allowed to stake on the network and you can earn some rewards. How much rewards? Well, it depends on how many other stakers there are. So check out ETH2 calculator. There's a Telegram group. There's a spreadsheet for that, but you can calculate basically assuming how much ETH there is being staked. Roughly speaking, currently, I would say somewhere between 7 to 10% is viable. And that's not bad, right? Bank right now is offering me less than 1% of APY. That's ridiculous. So you can see people going on. And here's my take. I think there's a lot of people that are preparing to jump on, and there's a lot of tests for that. Right now, do we need to rush for it? Absolutely not, because it's not those like 1,000% APYs during the DeFi farming days, right? It's still not there. And also it's a one-way trip. So I'm approaching this with a lot of research and a lot of respect, but at the same time, I know that there are a lot of people who are very, very interested in this. And I feel like towards the end, a lot of people are going to jump on, and that's great for them. But what we're going to do on this channel is we're going to cover this migration. I've already started running an Ethereum node. So the whole process, I'm going to take you guys through from start to finish, both manually and also with services. All right. Reason why it's manual, it's hard because you actually have to run both an Ethereum 1 node, which I've already started. So this is a screenshot of my Ethereum 1 node GETH. So I have Ethereum 1 node running already, and Ethereum 2 staking, I'm going to do that manually. But also there's going to be services that do it too. So one of them is Staker. So I've been actually looking a lot at Anchor recently. Anchor provides services for hosting for these nodes. So you just like click one button and it runs for you. So you don't have to go through the whole kind of process of setting up a virtual machine. Or in my case, I actually have a full on like computer just over there that actually runs all this, that's connected to the internet 24 hours a day. So it can start validating the network and being part of the beacon chain. So if this sounds like garble to you, I know it's going into a bit of detail, but I've spent a lot of time researching exactly what's happening with Ethereum 2.0 to get the technical side of it correct and accurate. And I've done it personally myself because, that's the challenge I took, right? Like, you do it personally or not. That's the way to do it. So yeah, so that's the way. That's what. So why I feel like there's a lot of potential for Ethereum 2.0 is because by the end of this month, we're expecting at least 524,000 ETH to be staked in this contract. That means it'll be locked for years to come too. All right, that's another big factor. So people need to buy that ETH, they need to stake it into this contract, and it's going to be locked up in Ethereum 2.0. It's going to be in ETH2 for years. That's really powerful. That's going to take out, I think when I did this calculation, all right, let me just do it off ad. So around $250 million of Ethereum is going to be staked into this contract. That's going to be crazy, right? That's a lot of $250 million US dollars worth of ETH being staked in here. So it's crazy. Anyways, let's see. So that's there for Ethereum 2.0. I feel like there's a huge amount of momentum there, and it's going to be nuts. Next up on the news, all right, next up on the news, we have this China Construction Bank. They're issuing out debt securities over blockchain. And not just a small amount. $3 billion is going to start being issued. So this is one of the largest banks in the world. If you know CCB, if you're in China, you'll know CCB, but they're issuing $3 billion worth of debt securities over blockchain. Now, there's a few things here, right? A few things that's kind of interesting. First of all, this is like essentially a securities exchange, right? Essentially, they're launching securities over blockchain, and they're giving credence to the whole tech. It works. We've proved over the last 10 years that blockchain can be a ledger to store amounts, and it's secure. Like all of the things that we've been saying, it's true. It's true, all of it. Now, it's very careful too, because it's a big Chinese bank, and they're very careful about the use of Bitcoin and Ethereum because it's blockchain, because blockchain's kosher in China, but crypto, not so much. And this is kind of like the mixed messages that we've been getting from China, right? China's been constantly saying, yes, blockchain is so good, great, absolutely, good job. DCEP, borrowing elements from blockchain, absolutely cool. And then on the news too, they're like, oh, yeah, DCEP absolutely borrows from Bitcoin. They admitted that on national TV. They also gave some like heads up to Bitcoin, Ethereum on national TV. They talked about how Ethereum was the best performing asset this year on national TV. That's why every Chinese friend I have, they're like, whoa, we understand Bitcoin now. You lucky guy, right? But at the same time, they've been hitting hard on exchanges, right? That's where the FUD was coming. Like OKX, Paul B, they're both rumored to be in a little bit of trouble. And China, they can detain people for 90 days, right? They can just like throw you in. Yeah, we'll be detained 90 days. Have a nice life. And that was what happened to OKX, right? It's unspoken here. It's pretty much confirmed rumors, I would say, but OKX lost contact with the holder of private keys. So that means one of the highest employees or highest founders of the company, and he's out of touch, right? He couldn't be contacted. So China's sending mixed messages here. They're taking key members of the crypto community and just removing them from the scene for up to 90 days. But at the same time, they're saying great things about blockchain and using great things about blockchain. So we'll see what's going to happen there. This is actually going to be the start of securities exchanges. Like we've been talking about this for the longest amount of time, having actual securities in a tokenized form, right? Because we know that by tokenizing securities, we allow the access to a global market. Like the technology is there already. I mean, if you ever use a decentralized exchange or even a centralized one in crypto doesn't sleep. And at the same time, also, it's way more efficient than what traditional finance has. And it can be customized to be completely borderless, right? I can send a Bitcoin anywhere around the world and it's exactly the same, whether it's right down to Hong Kong to Genesis block, or around the world to the US, or around to Korea, even North Korea. If someone in North Korea wants to receive Bitcoin, boom, bam, like give me your address, boom, I'll send it to you, you're done, right? This is the power of crypto, right? And a lot of exchanges are taking on the power. They're like, okay, look, blockchain, like this is what they're saying. China Construction Bank, yeah, blockchain good. We're issuing debt on there, $3 billion easy. Like we know it's secure enough. Like in this situation. Sorry. So I think this is just a start, right? I've been very, very aggressively looking, and there's a project that I can't talk about now, but they're using blockchain to create security assets. Southeast Asian banks are involved with that. It's going to be crazy. Like, this is going to be one of the biggest use cases of all this tech. You know that crypto trading is hot, and then now bring that to security assets, and you can securitize everything. That's crazy, right? So security tokens are coming. It's just a matter of time. It's about that regulation, right? So I think this is like kind of spearheading it. Now that China Construction Bank is doing it, okay, now it opens up that little window a little bit more, right? And I think that's what it takes. It's not about the tech. It was never about the tech. It was about regulation. And the fact that China Construction Bank can do this, that is crazy, right? So that's spearheading it. Next up in the news, let's see, we have Trustswap. So Trustswap, this is something that I've been looking aggressively into as well. You know, I'm an advisor for the Trustswap, so full disclosure is fair if you guys need it. That sort of disclosure. But Trustswap Launchpad, they're launching Coin, which is a very powerful tool. I'll read this to you guys, and I'll tell you guys what I think. So this is a startup by Microsoft. They say Microsoft, experienced officers at Microsoft. They've been working at Microsoft for a long time. It's been guided by Alex Mashinsky, and it's pretty good. You guys know Celsius. But what is this? What is Coin? Coin is essentially a P2P decentralized exchange with atomic swap artificial intelligence, and intended to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency exchanges and the wallets, by providing mainstream consumers and crypto enthusiasts with the easiest and most secure way to manage their digital assets. Okay, so let's discard the artificial intelligence, because I think this is like a fad word that everyone just shoves in there. But the key here is cross-chain wallets and decentralized exchange. So essentially keep your coins in this wallet, and also be able to switch between different coins that are on different platforms. Something that we know with decentralized exchanges that are very popular right now is that they're all based on Ethereum. So like Uniswap is Ethereum based. But what if we want to cross chains? What if we want Bitcoin or Litecoin, or any other coin you want to talk about, VeChain or something like that? Well, right now at the current point, it requires the wrapping of coins and then wrapped assets, and you guys know what's happening there. But this exchange will allow cross-chain swapping, which is very, very powerful. So yet again, very excited to see that happening. And right now, to be part of this, you can be holding Trustswap, which is why also Trustswap moved up recently. It's because yet again, the excitement, the team's developing, and also the team's working to make that Trustswap Launchpad possible. Bam, powerful right there. All right, next up on the news, let's see what else we have here. So we have this news. Oh, I have a fun one for you guys. I have a fun one. We'll take a break from all this crypto stuff, and I have a fun thing for you guys today. So let me just bring that up. Let me see, where was that post? Sorry for that. Apologies. I thought it was here. I thought I had it. All right, there you go. All right. I just saw this morning. I don't know why I got showed this, but ancient gold stash found in a jug in Jerusalem. Right, this is totally off topic, but kind of funny. So they found this jug, and someone was saving gold in there. But what's kind of interesting, right, is that these gold coins are the equivalent of 4 months' salary for a common laborer back in the time. That was more than 1,000 years ago. All right. And I was like, the first thing that came into mind is like, do people these days make 4 gold coins? I don't think so. I mean, like, assuming the value of these gold coins, I mean, like, that's the size of it. Like, if you look at that coin, right, that's literally $4,000 to $6,000 worth of gold right there, especially with these rising gold prices. Like, not everyone, common laborers nowadays don't really make $4,000 to $6,000. It just goes to show that our economy, right? Like, it feels like we feel like we're rich in terms of maybe US dollars or fiat, but in terms of gold, we're pretty poor. And this is one of the biggest objectives right now. Like, if you follow the gold argument, so there's 2 arguments for why Bitcoin is powerful. One is because it's got a finite supply and it's digital gold. So right now that makes sense. Like, digital gold, like, it kind of protects you from the dollar going like this. And also the second thing is, so yeah, I kind of feel like, I don't know, like, I just thought that was interesting. I don't know. Just leave a comment, guys, if you found that was interesting too. So yeah, that was a gold thing. Those were the gold things. That this was a jar. This was a gold. I'm not sure if that was there, but I kind of found that kind of interesting. For common laborers, they were paying so much, and nowadays we're still poor. So yeah, crypto is gonna solve a lot of that for a lot of people. Hopefully, fingers crossed. You guys are doing great. Jay says, I like gold. Joseph Nan says, gold must have been undervalued wherever they lived. Otherwise, I want that job. Exactly, man. I mean, think about it. That's 4 gold dinars, right? And yeah, I would take that every month. Why not? All right, guys. So that's I thought that was hilarious. So next up we have what else is up on the news segment here. So we have this, which is fun. If you're on the note of securities as well, securities exchanges, we have FTX. They have like balls of titanium or adamantium, but they have already tokenized stocks. So Tesla, Apple, Amazon, Facebook, Netflix, Google, SPY, Bilibili, Alibaba. Look at how like they have both US based and like HK based stocks on here. So that is already up on FTX, and there's a trading competition for that. So there's a $500,000 prize pool. If you guys want to join FTX, I'm gonna shamelessly leave my referral link down below. I do make money from a referral link, but boxmining.co/FTX. Just use that link. You also save 5%, by the way. So if you want to trade stocks, I don't know why you would trade stocks at this current point though. I think this is more for like, okay, for expanding portfolio. Right, I'm not gonna shoot myself in the foot. I think it's valuable to have this ability to come here. I think this is something that presents a whole new opportunity, because now you can trade these stocks on a different market other than NASDAQ and at a different time zone too. I think that's a lot of power right there. And this is like the most humble way of putting it, because if you just think about how powerful this is, it's like crazy, right? So anyway, so if you're interested in the trading that on FTX, or you're interested in using FTX, which is pretty much become the de facto exchange of choice now. It's like I didn't believe this at first, right? But now I'm like a full FTX convert, because they're just so powerful. And withdrawals are free. Setting up sub accounts is super fast and easy. You don't even need to log in or log out to get on a sub account. So you just set up your strategy and go. It's kind of insane. I've been mostly, like I said, I haven't used the leverage portion of it, but I've used, okay, that's not true. I've used leverage portions of it, but not at this current point. But one of the biggest powers of FTX was that I had assets that I can short to protect myself during the farming days, which is kind of really what locked in FTX for me. So remember when I was setting up the farm for Lua Farm, and then using FTX to short Tomo when I have the Tomo farm going? Yet again, it's a situation where I was strategically protecting myself from volatility in Tomo's price, whilst getting the rewards and just farming and making money. So that was great. But anyways, that's kind of what locked everything in. So if you guys want to join FTX and you want to look at a picture of Warren Buffett, here you go. All right, cool. So that's pretty much fat. That is fat for now. Wow, it's just Bitcoin. Watching Bitcoin go, watching Bitcoin fly is pretty cool too. What else is there? Let's go through the rest of the news. Okay, so we also have Ramp DeFi, if you guys know what it is, it's a project I've been following. In terms of DeFi, what it does is it bridges between chains. It's basically allows you, if you're a staker of something like Elrond, for example, if you're staking Elrond, they allow you to continue staking, but also unlock assets and bridge them across chain onto Ethereum. That's like one of the most powerful assets right there. So now they're enabling their vaults there. That is not up yet. So the ability to cross blockchain and assets, that's not up yet, but they're currently allowing staked assets. So they have vaults up already. So you can select both Ramp Vault and ETH Vault. That's released right now, and people have been depositing Ramp into that. So right now the APY, okay, so in terms of APY, it's dropping a bit because it's so popular, but in terms of Ramp APY, it's 32%. And in terms of Ramp ETH, if you want to do this is also really risky though. Like this is the highest risk one, because now you're suffering permanent loss on that. yeah, you can deposit that for 300%. But I'm probably gonna stick my ramp here. I haven't done that yet because I'm a little bit lazy. But it's up yet. Now I need to actually get that done. So on a note on that as well. So farming wise, all right. So farming, let's be honest, it hasn't been the most profitable phase for farming right now. So I've been pretty defensive on the farming front for some time. I think that's the best way to phrase it. Where because right now a lot of farms they use the pool twos that we call it, basically liquidity tokens from Uniswap. That means you're suffering a lot from impermanent loss. So something that I did prior to going here is that I actually took out my coins. Like I had some pools that were in the ETH USD pool, and I realized, okay, with ETH going up like this, I don't want to take impermanent loss. So I just held on to ETH. Which is why, yet again, Ethereum 2.0 is quite interesting because you can hold on to ETH and get APY on that, right? So that's kind of what I've done. So for some particular farms, I've taken out the coins because I don't want to take impermanent loss. Essentially, if you have pool tokens, if a coin goes up in value relative to the other coin, then you're automatically kind of just selling, right, on your way up. And I didn't really want to do that. I want to keep my Ethereum exposure. I want to keep my Bitcoin exposure. I feel like that's the kind of the best strategy, and that's one of the best successful strategies out there. Now, that being said, of course, the ramp thing, like if you're already holding ramp, which I am, so I was holding ramp because I know that this cross bridge aspect is very powerful. Vaults are up. So now this will probably be my thing. Like that's just deposit ramp, get the APY, done deal. All right. Let's see what else is there. I think that's pretty much it. We're done with all the news. Wow, that was pretty good. I was done. Cool. So now we'll do some chat session. Bullish box, bullish on the planet. Somi's super happy because I've been at odds. So if you guys have been on the Telegram chat group, I've been constantly fighting with Somi because I feel like Somi's super bullish, all right, and I'm more cautiously optimistic bullish. But now I think that switch has been flipped quite a bit, and here's the view on it, right? With Bitcoin and Ethereum going up, like altcoins have to go up. I mean, that's almost been like a law in crypto. I don't want to give financial advice. I don't want to sound overly optimistic, but like that's always been a trend, right? So Bitcoin, Ethereum, a lot of people are big holders just like me of these two assets. And once Bitcoin kind of reaches like kind of a plateau, like it pushes up, it could drain a lot of the alts on the way as well when it pushes up. But then once it reaches that plateau, everyone goes out to go on the alts. It's like clockwork, right? People made money, right? People are made money. They're happy. They want to look at new technologies, good and bad, right? Obviously, with altcoins, it's a lot more volatile and a lot of money can be made there. But at the same time, altcoins can also go to zero. Right, that's a given. Altcoins a lot of times have to do with brand new projects, and some of them just outright suck. But at the same time, some of them are one of the most innovative aspects. Like think about Ethereum, right? When ETH came along, everyone's like, "Oh, this is a scam." But now look at how ETH has drastically changed the entire landscape of blockchain. Now you can just create an exchange, like spend like a week programming, and boom, I've launched an exchange. Ha ha ha. Or Andre, in his case, you can spend like a few weeks. Oh, boom, I made a bank. That's way better than it like HSBC or something, right? That's the power of ETH right now. So obviously, that technology can be extended. We're looking into a lot of non-fungible tokens. I'm looking at a lot. Like now, the floodgates are open. I'm like looking at everything, right? There could be something new. There could be a gem here, and there's a chance of 100x. And okay, I hate to do this, right? Like I'm much less chilly than this usually, but one of the biggest reasons why I'm looking to alts is because of the potential for tremendous upside, right? And this has been well known, right? Like, and I know that like a lot of big firms do this. Let me just get my pen out for this here. So, and it's simple math. Where's my pen? It's one of those situations where you really need a good tool to make sure that your pens don't disappear for your tablets. On that respect as well. Yeah, I think that it's completely gone. Let me see the surface. Oh, I see it. All right, there you go. So the theory of alts, right? So I'll go through this very quickly and agree or disagree. It's my current thought. So alts, let's just say you have particular alt investments, and sometimes alt investments they go up 10x, right? Sometimes they go up 30x. So the key here, right, a lot of the alt strategies that I've been saying, and this one kind of makes sense, is that the key here is to find a few good alts and potentially that can do a very high return. And this is one thing that a lot of big funds, they got really rich on. I know a few funds that just made a 100x and, they're golden, right? So that's kind of the case where some alts, they die, maybe they suffer, they die. And there's a lot of times where companies can die too, especially even in the fiat normal space. Even if they try super hard, it's possible that, they just don't have the market fit. They have the wrong timing. They have a terrible product. Sometimes they don't deliver, right? So that's the thing with alts. Alts, you gotta be prepared for failure. Sometimes it just completely dies and goes to zero, but other times you're looking for these, right? You're looking for the gems, and you're looking for getting positions into as many gems as possible. And it sounds like normally I would say, like this type of talk is scammy as hell, right? Because people promise you 100x, 10x. I'm not promising that. There's no promises here. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, right? But at the end of the day, that's how a lot of people got very, very rich, by having exposure to alts. So this is why, yet again, it's time for me personally to look at alts. Previously, in the previous period, and I played this very, very well. I'm actually very happy about this, where I increased my position on both Ethereum and Bitcoin. I was talking about that, a lot of increase on Bitcoin as a position, because Bitcoin for me, it just felt like the much safer asset to go into, where you can do a large volume, where the liquidity is there, and you can actually more or less, like I'm so confident on Bitcoin anyways. Now with the alts, now I'm having more exposure. So for me, keeping like 40 alts is completely normal, right? And that's a lot for a lot of people. I feel like it's a lot to manage, but at the same time, for me, it's absolutely fine. Like for me, I'm keeping these alts. I'm like, dude, Ramp looks great. Like whatever they're doing, I think that's like totally needed. Sure, why not? Trustswap, great. I've got talks about Velo, and they're doing some crazy stuff in Southeast Asia, right? I'm getting, what else am I researching this week? LTO, Polkadot. So people are talking about Rio DeFi, Rio Chain. Like we talked about that as well. Mantra DAO, oh my God, similar team. We got VET, RSR, Theta, Zell. So holding that, it doesn't hurt. And also, if you actually look at it, Wi-Fi pumped a lot. Blue Wi-Fi is great. I still kept some, which is great. So that I enjoyed a lot of the ride. And that's kind of the strategy of alts. You're looking for, I'm looking for more exposure right now. I feel like, how do I phrase this properly? I feel like once a Bitcoin rally has kind of reached its end, which I don't think so. At this current point, it hasn't reached its end. That's altcoins time. But you have to kind of be before the market, right? You can't buy alts when everyone is buying alts, right? That doesn't make any sense, right? So that's kind of my strategy right now, where I'm a lot more open to ideas. I'm a lot more optimistic and a lot more supportive as well. I feel like, give them a chance. This is a big change. I do think so. Like I feel like earlier on this week, if you actually heard me talk privately, I get really angry when projects try to screw with me. And a lot of times I talk to these altcoin projects and I get so frustrated afterwards because they treat me like a dummy. I hate being treated like a dummy. I kind of take it personally. Like a lot of times when there's projects that talk to me and be like, oh, we're gonna bring mass consumer adoption. We have partners with Amazon because why? I mean, like you ask them this and they use AWS and they have a partnership with Amazon on our website. I'm like, shut the fuck up, scammer. All right, that's the only time I'm allowed to swear. Like, shut up, shut the fudge up. Like stop treating me like an idiot, right? And that happened like multiple times through the last few weeks. Like, there are projects that just got extremely greedy, tried to raise too much money, and then just dumped on the entire market because they just wanted money. And I'm like, And then the worst part is like they pretend nothing's wrong, right? There's just so much crap going on in the altcoin space. But at the same time, there's also a lot of innovation. And I think that's kind of the core message I took this week, which is like, okay, look, like I looked at a certain point, I'm like, I'm getting pissed off with these projects. But at the same time, like there needs to be a perseverance to keep going, because at the end of the day, there is innovation here. So that's my 2 cents. I think like John says, don't forget the Microsoft partnerships. Don't forget the Unreal. Like there's a project that was like literally, I'm going to throw this one out to you there. Like there's a low cap Polkadot project called Terra Virtual. It's getting hot. And I talked to their CEO. I'm like, the CEO's like, oh, we got partnerships with Unreal. We got partnerships with Microsoft. We got partnerships with Paramount, Netflix. Oh my God. And we're low cap because we have like 800K initial cap or something like that. And I'm like, okay, great. Like that looks good. But at the same time, like what do these partnerships mean? And then like, no comment, right? Like they don't want to talk about that. Like, come on, I just like I've been through talking to a million projects. Have some respect, right? Have some respect. Like, just don't throw that shit in my face, right? I've been in this industry. I know how intellectual property works, right? You just even if you sign on an IP, it's not about signing that IP. It's about where the exclusivity of your license goes. Does it cover all video games? That's worth a lot of money. Does it cover all movies? Does it only cover non-fungible tokens, which might not be worth that much, right? So you have to look at all the details. And there's going to be a lot of projects right now that's going to be intentionally vague, make huge claims, and totally try to pull wool over your eyes. And to those projects, I say, you know, get out. Like, stop. All right? Like, just don't. Like, they might have the best of intentions. They might even believe what they're saying, which is even more dangerous. But please update yourself to what the industry standard for either IP licensing, for gaming is, and then talk. At least be real. Right. And that's the worst part, because like I think the worst part is because I've actually had experience in the gaming industry, and when they post shit, I'm like, dude, like anyone you throw these numbers in the industry, everyone's gonna laugh at you because they know it's fake. Right. It's all about numbers. It's all about statistics. Right. That's how gaming works. If you look at a video game about launch, it's always about your 30-day retention. It's all about your funnel, where you retain users, where you engage users, and where they spend their money. And more importantly, a lot of people don't realize this. They know that Fortnite is hot. Right. It's super hot. All the kids are playing Fortnite. Right. It's crazy. It's amazing. But Fortnite is a game specifically built to sell skins. And they're not going to move their skins on your shitty platform, because they're going to lose revenue if they let people to trade it. Like, people are talking about transactional, like, oh, enable trading for Fortnite. We can do that. We can solve this problem. It's not a problem to solve, you dumbass. All right, that's me getting angry. Like, it's not a problem to solve, because they designed the game specifically around selling a skin and making you keep it forever. Think about it. Anyways, okay, that's what gets me pissed. All right, like, people are like, oh, what if Fortnite had tradable skins? We can provide this technology. anyways, like, it's like, oh, anyways, I'm not gonna get angry. Anyways, good. All right, so that's pretty much it. So yet again, it's a situation where I get very angry when I see that, like, when I'm so disrespected like that. You know, it's a situation where, you know, if you're reasonable, if you're smart, if you make some good, like, there's a lot of innovation here, but at the same time, we have to be realistic about what business models of existing businesses are, what problems we're trying to solve, and how we're going to do it in a strategic way, and without blowing a lot of steam and trying to pump up a particular coin. I think that's the way to do it. So anyways, that's my 2 cents. What do you think about Keeper? I think Keeper has a lot of stuff going on, but at the same time, there's a lot of confusion over what it does. It essentially allows programmers to automate contracts, like at their core, right? Like simple contracts, like harvesting for Y earn. These things can be automated by functionalities called by people called keepers. The issue of keeper I love and hate about keeper is that, you know, a keeper when it was a very high price, right? I told you, like, keeper. I don't want to be a sound a hypocrite too. I have to tread very lightly because I'm one of those people who degened into keeper very early on. And, you know, on my channel, people also bought it at $8 and rode the way up. I bought it at $28 and I rode the wave up. So we bought it here, right? First hour, there was huge entries for keeper, and I don't want to be a hypocrite because, you know, Andre released his project, we all aped in, right? I didn't ape in volume. I think there's particular people like Jeff Huang. I think someone doxed his address anyways, but he aped in like crazy amounts, right? Like we see his wallet and it's like $2 million worth of keeper in there. So he aped in and people aped in. We didn't really know what it was at the start, and then people aped in whatever prices shot up. And at this time, I'm like, okay, look, it just looks, okay, I don't want to shoot myself in my foot here, but it also looks like it's a little bit overvalued because the functionality that these keepers do is meant to be at gas price plus a bit. So in terms of, like, you know, it's useful. All right, I'm not saying it's not useful. It's very useful, but at the same time, you need a lot of these jobs on. Now I think it's starting to stabilize. I think keeper is actually moving in a much better direction. So I was warning you guys around here, try as hard as possible not to be a hypocrite. And now we're approaching at a more reasonable price for keeper, and that's my 2 cents. All right, I feel like there's going to be a lot of potential for people to automate jobs, especially if DeFi hits off. But just be careful around, I would say be extremely careful around the lack of knowledge around keeper. We actually have an article about what keeper is if you guys want to find that out. It's actually one of our most popular articles here. We always do the research. We always understand what it is. So keeper, what you need to know, that's a good article. Read it, you know, it matters. Boom. All right. Angela Wan says, I think some projects try to show themselves, but you can hear the BS from a mile away. Absolutely. Like, it just reeks. Like, you can't pull 2017 strategies anymore, right? We all understand. Like, you need to play a slightly different game. I think a lot of 2017 strategies were like, oh, we're going to bring the mass market into crypto, and like, look, 2020, where's the mass market, guys? You know, 3 years. Right. You know, the general public, it takes a while for them to understand crypto. You know, there's always these arguments, oh, even we're making it so easy that even my grandma can use it. Well, yeah, you can, but in terms of they can use it, sure, but can they keep it properly? Not very much, right? So anyways, I think we're transiting to another stage where I feel like the functionality of crypto becomes a key focus, and I think that's a more believable narrative. If you look at the whole DeFi situation now, a lot of people are using lending platforms. I mean, especially a lot of whales. I've been learning whale strategies on lending platforms, and it just blows my mind. Both Compound and Cream. We have decentralized exchanges like Uniswap providing automated liquidity. These are just like game changers, right? Like a single one of these innovations can completely change the finance world and flip it to a side. It's like the hottest scene. If you look at financial technology, fintech, I mean, that's a huge key phrase here. Fintech is dominated by blockchain because someone can write a piece of code, immediately implement it, and boom, it's live. And no one else can change it afterwards, right? This is the power of Ethereum. You deploy a contract, it's up there. Everyone knows the rules, and it's perfect, right? It's better than a bank because bank can change the rules all the time. This one cannot, right? It's secured by Ethereum or any other blockchain. I feel like this is the power here. So like DeFi has so many legs, it's crazy. So I feel like focusing on that argument makes a lot of sense, but like focusing on like, oh, we're gonna bring moviegoers and they're gonna use NFTs. Oh my God, cool, sure. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. So anyways, guys, so I'm on full research mode. If you guys have any thoughts as well, I'm absolutely open to ideas. Any cool coins and projects you are looking at, definitely like push them, show them down below, no problem. We're doing a lot of research this week as well. So, and also weekend too. I think I'm in full battle mode now, you know, working on weekends, working on long hours. That's just the way to go. So anyways, that's my life. I'm ready for that. I'm ready for it. I took a 3-week break, and now I'm ready to go ape shit crazy. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the story of my life. With that, guys, thank you guys so much for watching today. I would definitely say, if you want to look, we're gonna cut segments off this video up. So if you find this video a little bit long and you want to look at kind of the essence of it, we have box mining clips. This is just released this week, so yet again, really great that I have a team to help me cut these clips up, make thumbnails, etc. Just get that information to you guys. So we're gonna have the shorter segments of these videos right there, and then we also have the newsletter that we recently released. And if you want to join our community, I will definitely open up the Telegram group for communication. I know it's been private, but the private group really works. Like, just sharing information, sharing intel, being very positive there, it works. This is the best group ever. All right, but it's also closed because that's why it's the best group ever. But we're gonna reopen that up next week, so stay tuned for the next episode on Monday. So we'll finally reopen that up. We'll figure out a way to reopen it up in a way that we don't get spammers and like all those guys. It's like a small number of people ruin it for everyone, and we just want to make sure that we don't have those people. So that's going to open up next Monday, so make sure you schedule yourself for Monday stream. Monday stream is coming, so those are my stream times on the corner there, and I'm going to schedule the new stream right now for Monday. Let's see, review settings, and that's pretty much it. Okay, Monday, it's already going to be like what? Monday is going to be see, 16th of November. 16th of November, guys. So yeah, we're midway through this month. It's passing really quick, huh? It's passing super fast. So yeah, we're gonna set the stream up for there. So come, set the timer for the next stream, and then we're good to go. Also, I'm pretty excited today. I'm gonna finally get my iPhone. I ordered the iPhone 12 Pro Max. So hopefully Friday 13th doesn't strike. It's meant to deliver today. Hopefully delivery guy comes today. If Friday 13th strikes, and nothing comes, I'm gonna be pissed. All right. So I'm pretty excited today. You guys can obviously tell. So yeah, I'll put the stream up. So it's here. So yeah, please do just click the like button. That's really help on this, and click the like button for these videos. If you guys like these live streams and stuff, I do spend effort actually making them. Please do smash up the likes. It really does help the channel, and I think we're gonna do a few more episodes throughout the weekend as well. I think that's a lot happening, so make sure you click that notification bell. And yeah, we've got Troy. By the way, Troy, thank you so much for joining the channel as well. I see a nice monocle up there. So if you join the channel, if the link down below, it does support this channel. We just use that money to kind of help build the community. We use that money to pay for like crazy things like that stupid Telegram group combat. I don't know, like these things, I don't know, for some reason add up over time. So anyways, if you guys want to just help the community out a little bit, be part of the community, it's actually quite cheap. It's like $2 to be part of the box mining community. Click the join button down below. Big thank you to anyone who is a member. So we got Troy with the monocle, we got Angela Wang with the little angel face. So guys, thank you guys so much for your support as well. Al Rickster as well, with a big smiley face on Al Rickster when I see in the comments. So it's total respect for you guys for being part of the channel. We got Vincent Ferralio says, always appreciate the live streams. Definitely thank you guys for clicking up the likes as well, guys. And with that, guys, I'm going to do the outro, and I shall see you guys next stream on Monday. I'd like to take the time now to tell you a little bit about everything that's happening in the box mining ecosystem. I'd like to take the time now to tell you a little bit about everything that's happening in the box mining ecosystem. First and foremost, if you guys like listening to all that's happening in crypto on the go, then I would highly recommend you checking out the Box Mining Bitcoin Out of the Box podcast. And the reason why it's called Bitcoin Out of the Box is because we have long interview segments very much exploring the detail of the newest and latest of what's going on in this whole cryptocurrency space. Whole idea of it is to bridge that gap between knowledge privileged institutional investors and the rest of us here in this space. Now, with the podcast, it's on everything. So it's on Apple Podcasts, it's on Google Podcasts, it's on Spotify. Just search it anywhere, Bitcoin out of the box. So just add that onto a playlist and then just follow the new episodes when it's released. Next up, we also have the box mining newsletter. So this happens roughly bi-weekly. We give you an update of the latest that's going on in a very summarized, condensed format. So this is perfect for anyone that wants an overview of the market. Say, for example, what's happening with OKX, the biggest event, or maybe the little things like what's happening with different coins and overall the trend. So what I use the newsletter for personally myself is to understand what kind of phase we're in crypto, to kind of get in tune. So if you don't read crypto every day, the newsletter is perfect for you. Last but not least, in the link down below, if you're a Telegram user, we have the box mining announcements channel. So this is to announce to you basically what's the latest videos coming up, but also we have a daily update, a community-driven daily update to provide you an idea of the latest updates on a day. And a lot of people have been using that to get informed of the crazy amounts of trends that we see. And I have to give a big thank you for Claudio, our community member, for doing this. It's just been phenomenal. Definitely want to give you a shout out there, Claudio, as well for that. And taking us to the end of the live stream, so make sure, number one, you click like and subscribe on this video because it really does help this channel. And then, of course, check out the podcast. It's one of the best ways to know a little bit more, to extend that knowledge, especially in your spare time. And then, of course, check out the newsletter. If you're, if you want those updates and summaries and trends, newsletter is the place for you. And with that, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you have a good one. See you in the next video.